Hey guys, my name is Kaushik and welcome back to the 12th video of Playwright. In this video, we are going to learn how to find multiple elements. For the example, I'm going to take a scenario from our LetCode website. So if you go to this Let's Practice session, and here we have an option called Find Elements. And here we have a simple actions, we are going to perform that. Okay, so very easy. So in this text box, I'm going to type my Git username and I'm going to hit enter. So once I hit enter, you can see that it's going to give us like multiple repository URL. So we're going to print all this in our console. Okay, so very simple. Now within the VS Code, I have created a folder called test. Within that we have a folder called elements, and within that we have a test case called search.test.ts. And as usual, we have imported the browser context page and Chromium. And within the describe, first we have the before all, where we have written a code to launch the URL, right? And of course to invoke the browser and then launch the URL. And here we have two tests. One is just to type the username and click on the enter, and then we are going to print all the repository URL using two conditions. One is the for await, so we are going to learn about the for await as well, and then we are going to learn about the map function as well. Okay, so in our JavaScript tutorial we have talked about the map in detail, so I believe you know what is map and how to use the map. Okay, so let's get started now. So first of all, we have to enter the git username in the text box, right? So for that we are going to find this text box. So right click and inspect, and we can use the latex path to grab the element. So here it has a unique tag name called input. I can use that, or else I can go with any of the locators or the CSS, right? So I'm going to take the CSS here. I'm going to click and copy the CSS, and here I'm going to say await, and then followed by page dot single dollar to find the element, right? And within that we are going to pass our locator, and then I'm going to store this as a web element first, not web element, store it as an locator first, element, right? So we can say like const, and we can say element. Okay, then what we are going to do is we are going to fill and press the tab, I mean not the tab, we are going to press the enter, correct? So here I can say like await element dot fill, and then we are going to pass the data. That's going to be Tony KC, nothing but my this nothing but my git username. Okay, and after that we are going to pass, I mean we are going to press, so element and then press, and here we are going to press the enter, right? So we can give it like this. That's it, pretty much cool. Okay, and I hope you remember what this question mark means here. Just in case if you are watching it for the first time, basically this is going to return me null. So if the locator is wrong, it is going to return me the null. So we are checking whether it's null or not. If it's not null, then we will perform this but two actions. Okay, you can write the if condition as well, but this is like your shorthand operator in the TypeScript. Okay, now this is fine, so we are going to enter this. Okay, so once we enter this, of course it is going to populate this all this URL, right? So if you remember, already I said in several videos that Playwright has a very good waiting capabilities, and of course it can wait for each and every action, right? Let's see whether it's going to be fulfill our requirement here as well. Okay, now let's go and inspect this one first. So here I can see that this all the links are within this app-git repos, and within that we have some div and ol and then li, right? And then we have this a tag. So if I take the li, that is sufficient, I can get, or I can grab this text, right? So let's write a css for this. So I'm just going to quickly write that. So we'll paste this one, not the center. We'll just take the locator and then ol I mean space li. So here you can see that we are getting like 30, and that is all the link we have. So we have like 30 links here. Okay, so this is the locator. Let me copy that, and here I'm going to first store that. So let's name this like const repos equal to, so we are going to say await, and then followed by page, and then followed by dot dollar, and within that we are going to pass the locator, right? But of course I have to find all the list, right? So we are going to find multiple lists, not the single list. So when I say dot dollar, that means it is going to find only one element. But instead of that, if I use double dollar, that means it is going to find multiple elements with the same locator. Okay, So here we can see that we have like approximately, not approximately, we have like 30, right? So let's try to print the size or length of this. Okay, so size in the sense, suppose the length in JavaScript arrays, right? So this is going to return me the promises of HTML elements of array. So here you can see we have like HTML elements of array, right? Okay, now we are going to print the length. So for that I can just log it, and here I can say like await repo dot repos dot length. Okay, so this is going to print me the length, and here you can see we are getting like 3 dot. That means here the await is not required because we have already resolved the promises in this particular line number 23, right? So here itself we have resolved the promises, so we can just use the length property to print the length. Okay, let me try to run this. So we are going to navigate within the test folder and then followed by the elements folder, and then I'm going to say just, then followed by my test case name. And the browser got launched, the URL is loaded, and it also typed the username and enter is performed. That's why we are getting all the list, right? We are getting all the URLs. But if I go here, you can see that in the console log, we are getting the size, I mean the length as 0, right? The reason is very simple. It takes few milliseconds to load all this data, right? Now you can ask me, hey Kaushik, Playwright is going to wait for each and every actions you said, but why it didn't wait for this scenario? So there is a few reason for that. If I go back to this playwright.dev, and if I go to the docs, and here you can see auto waiting, and here auto waits is going to work for sure, but not for every scenario. For example, if you are going to see like the click action, the double click action, the check action, and hover or fill, it is going to wait. But when we try to find multiple elements, it doesn't going to work automatically. So for that we have to write the explicit conditions. Okay, it will be really tough to show demo for all the necessary. So this is like your cheat sheet. Probably you can go through this document and understand like when it's going to work or when it is not going to work. As per my knowledge or whatever I have explored, it's very simple to understand. So whenever there is an actions like performing, like we are going to click on an element, or we are going to hover, or we are going to fill in the sense we are going to type something, then it's going to be wait most of the scenarios. But if you are trying to find multiple elements, or we are going to check like multiple frames occurrences, then in that scenario of course we have to use the explicit wait. Now let's see how to use that. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the same locator here, and here I'm going to say await page dot wait for selector, I mean yeah, wait for selector, and within that we are going to pass the selector. Okay, this wait for selector is basically going to wait until the element is attached to the um, DOM. Okay, and by default it's wait for like 0 to 30 seconds. If you want, you can change that as well. Okay, so for example here you can give comma curly braces, and within that you can pass the timeout, and you can specify like how much time you wanted to wait. I know that this list is going to populate maybe within 5 seconds. So here I'm passing the timeout as 5000 milliseconds. That is 5 seconds. If it's going to exceed than the 5 seconds, then of course we will end up with null. Okay. Now let's go and try to run this. Okay, so we got the output. Let's see, and here you can see the console log is now 30. Okay, so remember, whenever we are trying to find multiple elements, of course we have to wait for the selector. Okay, in case if it's going to be attached dynamically in the page, if it's going to be static, then we don't have to find that. Okay, for example, in the right hand side, right? So in the right hand side also you can see we have like list of elements. For this we don't have to use the wait for selector because it's like preloaded in the sense whenever we open this page it is attached to the DOM. But this thing, this left hand side, this URL, this are dynamically added, right? So whenever we search based on this input, based on that it's going to populate. So this is like your dynamic stuff. For that we have to use the wait for selector. Okay, and if you're going to click on this, then probably you don't have to use the wait for selector because it can it can wait until the element is in visible state or attached to the DOM. Okay, so to understand it better, you can go through this. This is like your cheat sheet. Okay, okay, now let's go and we'll try to print this up. So first we'll use the for await here. Okay, so for await is very simple one. It's more of like your for each. So here I can say like for, and here we can say like const repo. So we are going to get one repo from the repos. Okay, so repos is nothing but my source, the all the repos, all the repository basically, and from there we are going to get one repo at a time. And here I'm going to say console.log, and within that I'm going to say await repo dot, we can use the inner text to print the text. Okay, and of course here we are awaiting for this particular one repo, that is one element, to resolve the promises. But when it comes to the next one, of course again we have to resolve the promises. So for loop is going to run very fast, but we have to make sure that this promises is going to be resolved, then it will go to the next one, right? So for that, here we can say like await. That means first it will take this, like if you have like 30 elements, it will take one element at a time and it will try to print the text. So to resolve the promises, let's assume that it's going to take like 10 milliseconds, correct? And within the 10 milliseconds, actually the for loop will run very fast, right? But we have to make sure that for loop is going to run one by one after resolving the promises. So for that we are using this for await. Okay, now let's go and try to run this, and here we can see that we are getting the warning because we didn't close any of the objects, and that's why. So I'm just going to enable this after all, where we are closing the page, the context and the browser. Now let's clear it up and run once again. Okay, and here you can see in the console log we got like almost all the text like pro, Jenkins, pom, pom, and all the other repository URL, right? So we got all the repository URL here. Okay, so that's it. This is the for wait. Let me comment this, and now let's see how to use the map function. Okay, so it's going to be very simple. Just we have to say like repos dot map, and map is going to give us basically um, return two returns. So one is the repo itself, that is one element at a time, and it's going to return me the index. Okay, and then what can I say is basically this is also we have to resolve the promise. So I will use the async here, and then I'm going to return this. Okay, so return repo dot inner text, and of course we have to resolve the promises here as well. Okay, but if I run this, it will not show me the output. Let me show you. Okay, so I'm just going to store it here. So I can say like all URLs, and once this is completed, we are just going to log it. Okay, so all URLs. Okay. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to use the map function that is going to return me the repo, one repo at a time, and the index of that repo. We are not using the index, so even if you don't write it here, that is also fine. Okay, and then we are returning the text, inner text, and we are storing in a variable called all URLs. So this is basically your promise of string, right? So here also we have to resolve the promises. So we'll say all await and all URLs, but that is not required. Let's see the output. Okay, so let's go and bring it up here. Okay, and we got some exception. Let's see what is this. So it says like unable to adopt element handle from a different document. Okay, and do you have any other error? Okay, so basically what happens in the sense here we have to resolve the promises. So what is happening here over is basically this map is also going to return us another promise, and that's going to be of type array. Okay, so here we have to resolve the arrays of promises. So for that what we can say is we can say like promise dot all, and then we can use it. Okay, so it's going to be very, very simple. And of course we have to say await. Okay, so this is the most simple thing. So await promise dot all, that means until the map gets completed of all the promises internally, then we will use this particular variable. Okay, now let's see. Okay, now here you can see that we got all the URLs within the array, right? So that's it, very simple stuff. I hope you understood like how to use the promise.all and the map function as well. And also the learning here is the for await. Okay, so already we have talked about this map function in our JavaScript playlist. So if you do not know what is map and why do we use it, probably you can check that particular video. I will leave a link in the card. Okay, and let's have a quick recap. So first of all, we have a before all where we are launching the browser in headless false, that is head mode, and we are creating a new context, new page, and within the page we are loading this particular URL. And then we have very simple stuff. We are finding the username and we are fill basically means like it's like your send keys in Selenium, and press in the sense we are pressing the enter. Okay, so similarly you can do like tab or control plus ones, whatever the keyboard actions you want to perform, you can use this press function. And then we are waiting for the selector. We are waiting for this selector because it is dynamically generated in the UI. And if you are trying to do some actions like click, or you are trying to get the text, then it is perfectly fine. Not get text, I mean if you are trying to do the click action, then we don't have to wait because Playwright can enable the auto waits for the click action. But here we are not doing any of the click action, rather we are just trying to find multiple elements. So in that scenario, of course, we have to wait for the selector. And this optional, this is basically your optional. Even if you don't write this, it will wait till 30 seconds. And after that only it will throw you the null error. Okay. And here we are just trying to find the multiple elements and we are printing the length. And here we are using the for await to print all the text, and here we are using the map function to print all the text. Okay, that's it, very simple. I believe you understood. If you have any queries, please do let me know in the comments. Okay, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one very soon.